Hey all, Board Game Rants here. We'll find everything solo, tabletop gaming, and more. Trismegistus, the ultimate formula. I know I got that part right. We're gonna pop this sucker open. We're gonna have a look inside. Let's get after it. Subscribership as of today is at 677. I thank you so much, and thank you for joining me. I'm excited to take a look in this. The formula thing, the whole alchemy thing, totally reminds me of a game right up there, Alchemist. But I know that it is nothing like this. That game over there was you kind of ran formulas. There was an app involved. There was a lot of deduction involved. And this is nothing like that. This is much more, well, I don't know if it's much more straightforward, but this is just sort of like you just got to work the system to get the materials you need to do the experiments you're trying to accomplish. And there's like experiments, and there's formulas, and there's essences, and there's masteries, and there's a lot to it. I've seen some playthroughs, of course. I've read the rules. Looks like a bit of a beast of a game, but Daniel Tassini with David Turchi, those guys churned out Teotihuacan, which I loved the whole thing too, and so I'm very excited. I can almost guarantee this is kind of right up my alley. But let's take a quick look at the back. I mean, I've been wrong before, but looking at the back, yeah, there's just going to be a main board there. There's going to be a player board here, but I mean, look at that thing. Holy moly, you got your artifacts on the side. You got all your stuff that you're going to be using to do transmutations and manipulating one thing into a different thing, and then you got to use those things to be able to do the experiments, which then you're going to put up there, and then you're going to get formulas, which then you're going to put in your Philosopher Stone. Woo! I think that's at least scratching the surface. There's a lot to it. Let me get the wrap off and let's take a look inside. All right, wrap's off, and we got the lid popped up a smidgy-do. Just take a look at the perimeter here, and very cool colors like that. Game's trying to escape from me. Come back over here, game. And full circle. Let's take a look here at the top. Okay, so yeah, this heavy box. There's a lot in this standard size box, but a lot of goods in here. So what do we got here? We got bags within bags, maybe within bags is what we got here. So there's the formula tokens, I believe, and very cool. Almost, totally. I was just talking about. I'm gonna have to pop those over. It totally reminds me of Teotihuacan. It kind of looks like that very light, woody material there. Looks like the same stuff. And then player markers, I believe. Okay. We got a whole host of bags. Very nice. These are going to be what keeps track of what's what. Like if you get, mercury in its raw material, and then it transmutes into, whatever these, they're just kind of these generic cubes that we're going to be bouncing around on the boards to, depending on where they're at, they're going to represent gold or silver or tin or whatever. So that's going to be these guys. I'm pretty excited too. There's like I think there's 3D boards coming up here. So here's some of the cards. I'm guessing those are experiments, maybe, or I don't know. Let's see here, or maybe this is the. There's also publications that you can get, which get you points at the end of the game. Maybe that's a publication. Maybe that's the backside of an experiment. There is, in fact, a lot to this game, no doubt about it. And even though I've read and watched some playthroughs, I'm still a little dazed by it. Ooh, these are cute little dice. So these are small ones. Not there's the standard size die right there. You can see compared to the cute little each one of these symbols represents something else, either mercury or tin or whatever the other stuff is, and then the color of the die matters, and then what bowl the die is in matters, but I'll get to that later. This I can tell this is an experiment. Yep. So yeah, you got to have all these things, and this mastery level. So a mastery level of 3 in fire, and then once you perform that experiment, you get these things, and at the end of the game, you get those victory points. I think that's generally how they work. Here's some player aid stuff. if I recall from what I read in BGG or something, somebody said something about these are a little off, or maybe it's not these, maybe it was the solo part. I don't know. I heard that those, I'll have to look more into that, but something to be aware of anyway. So, okay, wow. And then comes the manual. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's not, there's bigger manuals out there, but there's a lot of stuff crammed in this sucker. But I've read through it, and I mean, it seems pretty reasonably, like, you can get it, especially if you go through it a second time. Kind of starts to really sink in. But, you know, this first part is all about, here's the main actions that you can do. There's, like, main actions you can do, and then there's of course, there's sort of the free actions you can do, like performing an experiment. But the general gist of it is, what does it say? So there's 3 rounds, and in those 3 rounds, you're going to get to work with 3 dice, and those dice are going to give you your potency and allow you to take your actions, which is going to involve, well, that's the drafting part. That's where you get your dice, and then the different actions. You can harvest material, you can get alchemical essences, perform transmutations, get an artifact, recharge an artifact, acquire an experiment card from the main. Get an experiment card. You can use chameleon tokens to change your dice. Then there's some free actions, and then yeah, during multiplayer and even playing solo, that you can do. There's opponent reactions. I don't think the bot Magistus, I think is what it's called, can do reactions, but I think I can do reactions. So similar to other games out there, where it's like everybody, you know, the main person takes their turn, but then everybody can react to it. You can do that in this game as well. And then there's a little cleanup at the end of the round. There's there's round 1 and round 2 and round 3 cards. I think experiments and artifact cards or artifact tiles. There's different ones you're going to put out each round. Okay, you got raw and refined material, so lead, copper, tin, mercury, iron, all with their cool little symbols. You got different colors. Yes, yeah. I mean, it looks like a big old mathematical puzzle kind of thing, doesn't it? So, okay. Anyway, that's enough of that. You got a little variant module here, achievements. I don't think you can, it says you can't use that in solo mode, which I'm always a little bummed out at, but whatever. And then here's Bot Magistus. Yes, the solo opponent. David Turchi, Nick Shaw. And I'd expect with a game like this, it's going to have some involved rules to it. Yes? I don't know if they're involved rules. It's usually one of those things you got to go through, a couple plays, and then bam, just sinks in, which I always love. And then you can adjust the difficulty. I love that too. Easily forgotten rules. Very nice. And then Symbols Legend. Okay. 'Tis the rule book. Okay, now, here we go. Here are the boards. Here are the boards. Yes. Yep. Love it. I love the little indented, kind of like Scythe, I think, is one of the first games that had that cool little... And here's where you can notch your... artifacts, I think? You notch your artifacts in there. Yeah, this is a very nice thick board. Very thick, double layered there, so that it can do that little indentation. If you can see there. Keep track of our essences. This is another little indented area. Very nice, very cool. And I imagine there is one for... Well, there's a whole bunch of these. 1, 2... Oh, yeah. There's, 3, 4, 5 boards. And different players there. I don't think the boards are really any different from board to board. Maybe they... Yeah, they are. Well, yeah, these the Philosopher Stone here in the middle has different... Like once you fill all the way across, you get to do these actions on the side. Once you fill all the way top to bottom, you get to do these actions, bonus actions on the top and bottom. And it looks like, yeah, there's different. This is different than this is. So yeah, so there is some differences there. So very cool. Very heavy, thick boards there. And then, yep, we got all the punch board coming here. Essences. So whenever you do a transmutation, so like, yeah, if you get a little. So these aren't indented. Interesting. I guess it'll make it easier to slide them. But if you want to change this into that, you got to go voop, 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 and transmute it from there to there, or there to there, and everything kind of moves in a clockwise fashion when you're changing things into from their basic into the refined selves. And there's going to be a lot of that going on, and you got to use these essences in order to do that. And then when you use your essences, you're going to move up on your mastery track. Jeez Louise, everything's kind of linked and whatnot, which I love. I love that kind of combo, pulling off combos and everything kind of dovetails into everything else. I like that sort of thing. So here are artifacts. These artifacts count as these particular masteries, I think. So those are important for endgame scoring purposes. When you're moving up the mastery tracks, there's going to be little bonuses. These will be on the mastery tracks. Okay. More artifacts. Very nice. Very good. Moving on. And now we're down to, I think, the board. Blast that guy out. And see if I can make some room here to get this thing. Kit. Blamos. Okay. Not too shabby. Almost got it. Good grief. Okay. All right. So here's the board. Yes. So when you roll these dice, they're going to be in these little bowls here. And then over here, we're going to have experiments that are going to be available. Here's that mastery track that we're going to be working up. And depending on where we're at, number-wise, how powerful our masteries are in the different areas, whatever, air, fire, water, I'm not sure, earth, maybe, fire, water, air. Anyway, when you spend the different essences, you'll go up on those tracks. There'll be little bonus markers on here. You can get bonuses as you move up, and then as your mastery goes up, you'll qualify to accomplish certain experiments. You're going to have artifacts here. Yeah, there is, it's beautiful though. I really dig the graphic design on this. It kind of looks like you're in a lab, which I think is cool. And I think that's enough. I think that's, well, you know what? Let me just pop into some of these. Let's take a look at these cards real quick. There we go. Got the cards laid out here. You've got some master experiments here. These are the doozies you're trying to finish up by the end of the game. Round 1, round 2, round 3. We got some starting experiments. I'm not sure what these are. Maybe these are the achievements. We've got Trismegistus. So here's where we're going to keep track of solo. And then we got cards here that we're going to be flipping over and taking. Yeah, that's what I'm used to seeing. I guess, it's going to take a certain die out here, and then it's going to use a certain amount of potency, and it's going to do its action, sort of a 1, 2, 3 formula with the running the bot. And very cool stuff out here. You got the dice that you're going to be rolling, and then you'll, take one of the dice on your turn and put it over there. Let's see, there were 4 dice in there, so it'd have 4 potency. And depending on how much of this potency I use, it's going to allow me to, I'll have stuff here, and I'll be able to transmute stuff from here over to there, or maybe even if I was up here and I transmuted down this, then I could activate these little artifacts, slide right in there. Very cool. You flip them over when you use them, and then, perhaps you finish an experiment, then you put the experiment above its doohickey in its little slot there, and you have these little formulas that you unlock, and then the formulas go down into your Philosopher Stone, and you can activate those anytime, and you fill up a row, and then you get to do that action and that bonus thing, and everything kind of, just links and adds to everything else, gives you tons of stuff to think about. I can tell. I mean, I've already got this partially set up. I'm getting right after it right now. Oh, here's this little mastery track too. I like this way that whole this thing works, because if you have, you got like a, you're there, and then you use to do a transmutation, you slide over here, but you have to use an essence to do it, and then depending on what essence you use, if your marker's there, you use that essence to do that transmutation, that moves your mastery up. So everything fits quite nicely. It's just going to be a matter of kind of wrapping your head around what affects what. But there it all is. That's Trismegistus, the ultimate formula. And until next time, I am Board Game Rant. I appreciate you watching, and I'm out.